Now, the second half of the fall of family and social values lies squarely in the hands of the American people, because something else happened in the 80s that was very important, and that was the Soviet Union fell apart. The Berlin Wall came down. America had proved itself globally, and if it's anything Americans are good at, it's being competitive. So in the 80s, the later 80s, there was nobody left to globally compete with. We had done it all. We had proven ourselves. So big business and media got together and created what I want to call the Vanity Wars. Now, all of a sudden, the enemy wasn't some distant country across the ocean. The enemy was the family next door. The enemy was down the street. The enemy was on the next block. Now, the war was a war of greed and possessions. Now, the object was to have the best house, to have the most expensive car, to have the biggest TV, to have the biggest stereo, to have the most expensive clothes. Socially, it was no longer lend your neighbor a helping hand. It was have more than your neighbor and shove it in their face as often as you could. And this, the American people bought into, and we're still buying into it. We have to have the latest game system, the latest phones, the best cars, clothes, and it goes on and on and on. This vanity war that started back in the late 80s is killing us today, because people no longer care about saving for the future. They don't care about a nest egg or savings for their kids. What has been drilled into our heads since the 80s is what you possess now. The rest of it doesn't matter. You know, everybody talks about the fact that Social Security isn't going to be around for the people who are putting money into it now, but nobody cares because it's all about what you have now. And I can't help but be reminded of one of the first George Carlin skits I ever saw, which was his skit on stuff and our need to have stuff. And you can't have good family values and good social values when you're valuing possessions and money more than yourself and your kids. And now in 2008, what can we show the world? We can show the world how to be in debt, both as a nation and as individuals. We can show everybody how to be in debt, how to not be able to pay for anything that you do. That's a great legacy. And that's the Vanity War. I hope everybody likes it.